Hello, good evening, everybody. Let me check the time and date. It's Friday, the 15th of January. Armageddon's approaching, and the time is, by GMT, 20:06 and 10 seconds. Not long till Armageddon. As long as we're positive, hopefully raise our vibration, our consciousness in order to tackle what is the most darkest, nefarious energy battle that this planet has ever had to face, or at least while I've been living on here, and I'm 50 years of age. God damn it. Hello, people from wherever you come from. Too many places to mention. I know sometimes my streams can be very localized. Sometimes it can go freaking transatlantic. So wherever you are, I hope you're chilled. I hope you're buzzing. Have it. Yeah? Coming from a mank, have it. A big thank you, as ever, to childrenmatter.news. Thank you very much. We're going to have a nice chat with, hopefully, a guy called Mark from Carolina. Lovely chap, doing his own thing over there, and we had a series of interviews that was cut down, and basically that was the last that we'd really linked up online. And it's been a while. Obviously, there's been a lot of water under a massive bridge. I want to tap into what's going on over there, how he feels, what's going on within his family, how are they adapting to it, and what he's seeing on the outside world, and his overall interpretation on a lot of it as well. Also, I've got another guest who's going to be sitting in on this little digressional evening that we've got, and that's going to be Yvonne Black, a great friend, intelligent young lady that's got a lot to say in what is going on, and very valid points, just like all us. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. Got a few slides, a few video clips. But before I bring in Yvonne, there's one thing I would like to mention as well. So speaking of Manx, before I bring Yvonne in, just wanted to show you something. I've been working on a new channel that's been dedicated to the music that I play within the videos. Now, if anyone doesn't know that the music that's being played now on my videos is Manic Manx. Manic Manx is a conception of myself and another chap. At the moment, it's mainly me doing it because of the current situation, but that's why we've got the plural within the name. So there's going to be more of a collaboration with this other chap further down the line. So what I wanted to do was, rather than just have a platform where I'm intermingling tunes with what is political stuff and all other types of topics, it didn't seem to sit very well and feel comfortable on the channel. I know some people like it, some people are not interested. It's a personal choice. So I've dedicated a channel to this. Some are video format, some are just audio with a video caption on it. And this is the channel. This is the channel there. Manic Manx. Only 2 subscribers. That's me and my alter ego. So I thought I'd get in there first. Manic Manx, various tunes on there. Plenty of tunes. And it's just a diversionary thing. If you wanted to listen to some music, you just want to get away and have something a bit lighter. Not that the music's all light. There's many different kind of genres covered on this. There's a lot of tunes, and there's still a few more to upload. So there's going to be more uploads. If you want, it's there. Manic Manx. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Manchester music is coming back. Arcade. So thank you all for listening. Hopefully Mark is going to jump on the stream. I'm going to try and contact him shortly. But until then, Red Pill Phil on childrensmatter.news plus affiliates with guest so far, Yvonne Black.
Red Pill Phil. Here's some of my photos. Red Pill Phil.
Yes, Yvonne.
Hello there, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I feel a bit anxious with everything that's going off, more with the misinformation than anything else. And the anxiety are constantly told, wait for this date, wait for this date. Things are going to happen then.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because you're juggling fears, uncertainty. What you need is groundedness now. At this time, more than ever, if you're going to get information, it's got to be information that's reliable, that it's not going to be misconstrued or the wrong information that's going to send you along the wrong path. And I agree with you totally in a sense that at the moment, there's so much disinformation, there's so much promises and things to come in the next few days, in the future. And we've been hearing that for probably months, but it's been heightened a little bit over the past couple of weeks. Now, it's not to say to discount any of it, but it adds to the jumble of information because there's no certainty within it all. And time again, we've been given deadlines of things that's going to supposedly happen, and them deadlines come and go, and you're back to square one again. So it does leave you to thinking, well, what's the reliability of this information? And am I wise putting my eggs in that basket, really? Or am I wise just chilling and standing back from it all from a bit,
Well, it's more for me the anxiety of the economy and what's to come that way. That's what makes me feel really anxious, more than whether Trump's going to get 4 more years or if Hillary Clinton's in Guantanamo Bay or Tom Hanks, blah, de, blah, blah, de, blah. Because in England, the way that things are going with the economy, that they're real threats. This is what's happening, especially what's going forward with COVID-19 and the new rules that just suddenly seem to appear. There's no indication that they're going to change a rule or they're going to update things. It just suddenly is now a law. Whereas a couple of days ago, they've now changed the law so that a doctor doesn't have to presume you're dead. A nurse can do it. That's massive.
It is. It opens the doors to a lot of failures as well. Not to say that at the moment, even with the way it was pre-COVID, there was no 100% reliability, even with what we class as a experienced physician. They made mistakes. So
well, they're constantly making mistakes at the moment, aren't they? I mean, nothing's consistent. Everything's wishy-washy. Everybody just seems to be confused.
Going back to the confusion, there's so many different reasons why. And what's really bad here is I feel it from both camps, if that makes any sense. I feel it from the camp that is more risen, more awoke, more informed, that's exacerbated with trying to get stories out, feeling the suppression from the mainstream media, and also divulging in echo chambers is probably not that clever as well, which is a dangerous thing if you do enter that without being aware of the dangers of it. But also the people who are unaware, the people who have just been too concerned about living their life, so they don't bother with politics, they don't bother with the news, they just go along to get along. All of them groups, the whole population here now, Yvonne, I was explaining this, imagine a guy or a lady, whatever, they get into a confrontation with the police. That policeman officer has then got a taser. For whatever reason, they decide to taser this individual. That person's been tased, they drop to the ground. At that point, they're disorientated. They're kind of wondering, some of the senses are knocked down, and that makes you slower as an individual. You try to get yourself back. The moment, this is what it feels like now, the moment that you get yourself back to some form of orientation, I feel like there's another taser gone in, and then another taser gone in, and another one. to the point where I feel the population of the world has been shocked upon shock upon shock upon shock. To what we're witnessing now is the after effects, whether they be positive to it or very negative. And that is the part of society that's totally reforming itself over this extensive shock treatment that the globe's gone through. Now, I don't know what your take is on that.
When you look at what's happening around the world, there's such a thin veil on reality and, conspiracy. For the first time ever, I feel like you've got conspiracy theory running alongside reality. Normally when you have, when you look at world and you have all your conspiracy theories, lots of people are into conspiracy theories. I like to read them myself. Do you know what I mean? And it's always something that's going to happen in 5 years' time, or it's something that's going to happen in 10 years' time. You start getting into conspiracy theory and you think, oh, well, actually, this makes sense. But the reality on a lot of conspiracy theories is 80% of it's true. And then they throw that disinformation in there, they throw those lies in there. So then what that does, then it completely discredits what is actually true and what is going on.
I agree with you. And there's been many instances where you can say that is the case, where when people have put their eggs into these theories only to be shot down later on down the line.
You don't even need to now think conspiracy theories. You don't need to go, oh, David Icke. Do you know what I mean? You've just got to look at BBC News. I mean, how many times have we spoke about this? Do you know what I mean? And I've just literally gone, right, I'm going to unplug from internet. I'm not going to read anything. I'm not going to be woke. Do you know what I mean? And I am literally just going to watch mainstream media. Whether we like it or not, majority country just watch mainstream media. And when you're watching mainstream media and you're actually listening to words that they use, it's absolutely terrifying fear that they're spreading. I mean, even that with bank, HSBC, and everybody keeps going, oh, but it's illegal, it's against human rights, I can't do it. And it just makes me chuckle because I just think they've done it. They're doing it. So now if you have an account with HSBC and you do not comply to their rules when it comes to COVID and wearing a mask, they can now close your account. So that means when you go into HSBC, whether you're exempt or not, if somebody comes up and goes, put your mask on, and you reply with, I'm exempt, and then after, then they can see that as you're not complying by their rules, you're being a pain in the ass, and then your account's closed. Yeah. That's scary.
Yeah, it's a form of fascism. I mean, it's closing the very core of you trying to exist. You need money, you need food. So
they've started targeting supermarkets, haven't they? I mean, we've sat, how many times have we sat there and I've gone, well, I'm not really concerned because there's never been an outbreak in a supermarket. And then all of a sudden, it was about a week ago, you'd got 1-2 supermarkets, you've got to wear a mask. Do you understand what I mean? If you don't wear a mask, we're not going to let you in. And everybody were like, oh, they can't do that. And then within a week or a couple of days of that, you've now got all over mainstream media that supermarkets are spreading virus, and you've had up to, I think, 6 supermarkets have closed for a deep cleaning. So that installs fear now into the supermarket.
It seems to be that fear-based that as soon as you get a bit of clarity or a bit of a safe haven with something that you're doing, that they've got to spread fear there to get you. Same again, it's like that shock treatment. Everywhere you go, zip, up, zip, up, zip. I don't know why. Well, I do know why it's so aggressive. Never let a good crisis go to waste. But
well, it's order out of chaos, isn't it? Really,
yeah, that will be done. It is problem, reaction, solution.
Well, I've looked on timelines, and I mean, I follow a couple of sites, and these are people that are queuing up for a vaccine, and you can actually, as much as you've got the people that don't want to wear a mask and they're fighting as hard, calling everybody sheep, you've also got the other side of society that genuinely believe that these people are putting their lives in danger and their grandma's going to die.
And this is what I was saying before, that I feel for both sides of the coin. Because you've got to, we're all humans here now. There was a time when you take the piss out of someone with a mask on, sat in their own car on their own.
That's scary, that, when I see that. And I just think, what are you doing?
Now, what you've got to
No,
do,
with your mask on and you drive it. And that just shows how much control and how submissive a lot of British people are and willing to comply.
I work for a large hospital system in Broward County, Florida, on the anesthesia team. Last night, the house nurse manager came to my department and told us that we must prepare for a COVID crisis that's going to start next week. And the hospital will be taking part of our recovery unit, anesthesia recovery unit, to house COVID patients. And that we cannot allow surgical patients' families to come visit them, which we do pre and post surgery, pre and post anesthesia. And I looked at her and I said, how do you know you're going to need our rooms, our bays? And how do you know there's going to be a crisis next week? She tilted down her glasses. She looked at me and she said, you know what's going on by now. And I said, yeah, I do. And everyone else just went, oh, here we go again, and shrugged their shoulders. Does anyone else find this really strange besides me? It's about time that this whole corrupted, stinking system is brought down. Seriously. Because I'm really hating my job right now. I can't stand this corruption anymore. Please share.
Let's think about it. Think about it from a personal level, because that's all you could do. I can't think for them or put words in their mouth. But what level of fear would you have to have? Whether it be legitimate or illegitimate, it's not the point here at this moment. It's that a human being has been feared into reacting this way.
I don't necessarily think it's fear. I mean, we've discussed this before, where I've said, it takes 90 days for your brain to retrain. So if you got up at 11 o'clock, turned your light switch on, the next day you set your alarm and 11 o'clock you turn your light switch on. After 90 days at 11 o'clock, you're naturally going to put that light switch on. So when you've been conditioned to wearing a mask over months, well, it's been nearly a year now, do you know what I mean? And we can get conditioned after 2-3 months, then it's natural. It's something that you will naturally do. And people, and I don't think necessarily they're doing it out of fear, because there's that much misinformation and disinformation about, do you know what I mean? But it's just by that 90-day rule. And I just think it's a way of I don't think we're going to get rid of these masks. Not anytime this year. I think it's something that'll come in every year like a fashion accessory. And I think that this vaccine won't be a one-off vaccine either, because at the end of the day, there's too much money to be made in it. If you just give everybody in the world 1 or 2 vaccines, you know what I mean, you're going to make billions and billions of pounds. But my God, if you've got to give everybody a vaccine once a year at winter time, because like flu, it mutates, that's a lot of money.
They've created a perfect scenario like terrorism. Yeah. They never fight it, and we've got to constantly keep throwing money at it. But let's just move swiftly to a comment here, Yvonne. We've got Lee J77. My mum and dad have been scared enough. No one is allowed round their house. Now, that on a core level, that says it all. Horrific. And look what that'll do.
Yeah, because as humans, we need contact, we need to touch, we need to feel, we need a hug, we need that face to face. We need that. We're human. That's what we crave. That's why women crave love, men crave love. That's something we crave as a person. Do you know what I mean? Every human craves that. So to take that away and introduce that 6 feet rule, you're not allowed to hug anybody, and installing that fear into the children as well. Do you know, if you give grandparents an hug, you could kill them. What is that doing to their mental health?
It's horrible.
And look at the mental health of that guy's parents. They sat in a house with no human contact. That's that's soul destroying. I was watching a TV program, and in fact, I'll tell you what it was. It was, you know, when they got them little kiddies, about 4-year-old, and they went into a nursing home, and it lifted everybody's spirits. And they were saying that loneliness and lack of human contact can kill up to 30, increases your death by 30%.
Yeah. Yeah. And I could believe that. I mean, how many times, look at it this way, Yvonne, how many times have you known, or we've all wildly suspected, that somebody who has lived with or married and lived with the partner for many years, 60, 70 years, 50 years, 40 years, they become a unit, inseparable. One of them dies. The one that's left behind lives a productive life. But how many times have you heard that things are not quite right with that individual after that person's gone, and ultimately some may even die of being lonely? I don't think that could be put on any death certificate, but when even family members will see that change in that individual from that moment that they lost their partner.
Hence dying of a lot of broken heart. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that lose a partner, and then within 6 months or 12 months, they're not the die inside. And that's your spirit. This is, I mean, everybody keeps saying, what do we do? How do we solve it? How do we prepare? And the only way to prepare and defeat the darkness is by becoming light and lifting your spirits. Humanity's got to shift. Because if humanity does not shift and we keep going down this way, then do you know what everybody's worst fears are? They're going to come true.
Yeah. We're taking ourselves down.
We're going to manifest it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you've got groups of people that are discussing, you know, about taking supermarkets down. And you just think, wow, the only people that are going to suffer from that is local people, kids.
And through the problem, reaction, solution, then
you'll get army, or you'll get an armed guard, you know, that's going to be guarding a supermarket.
You're giving them what they want. And if
it's not the same as when you go into town. If you go into Manchester and Doncaster and, you know, Leeds and things like that, at one point you could go into town Christmas shopping and you'd see a couple of police officers. You go into town Christmas shopping now, you've got armed guards. Is that what it's going to be like on Tesco's? Is that what it's going to be like on Morrison's?
Yeah. Well, isn't it funny, like you say, with conditioning, how people consider that the norm now?
Well, it's going to be lots of people go into supermarkets and start giving shit to these COVID marshals. And I understand why they want to do that. Do you know what I mean? Then all that's going to do is oh my God, you're giving shit to us COVID marshals. They're just normal people that have got a job. They just want to feed the family. So then what they're going to do then is they're going to bring somebody else in to deal with it. Yeah. There ain't enough police to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get real little Hitlers in a uniform.
This is indicative of probably what's going on now, and the treatment that a lot of people will be getting if they choose to address their right to not have to express what their exemption is, because that's how the exemption rule was the one thing that kept some form of civil right out of all this Orwellian crap that's been going on. I don't know whether you agree. At least
it causes more division, it causes more strife, it causes more chaos. Whereas if you could actually go to bloody doctors and get a doctor's letter, right, that says this person exempt, then you're not going to have that problem. They're going to be able to look at that good doctor's letter, go and carry on your way. But because you can't prove that you're exempt, and do you know what I mean, apart from download a little passport type thing off the internet, then it's open for debate.
You've got people who actually have got ailments that will justify having exemptions.
Yeah.
But you've got people who adhere to liberty who will back them all the way, who want to maintain that and probably want to use that exemption themselves, because that's the only get out they've got from navigating through what they regard as this Orwellian rule that's just come in. You know what I mean?
When they've gone, they got a mask, and I've gone, and I'm exempt, and I've gone shopping.
That's what I mean. That's the last bastion. We shouldn't have to do that. It shouldn't have to be done. Everyone has got an unalienable right, and that has been taken away. So let me play this clip, because I want to scratch onto something else about employees and whatnot. And same again, this goes back to mass wearers.
Sorry, my love, they are going to ask for proof, or
I don't have to show you that.
Okay, they're within their rights not to serve you then, I'm afraid.
Yeah, then that's discrimination because it goes against the Equalities Act 2010.
I appreciate that, but that's the information we've been given.
Like, I understand that you just literally relaying back what you've been told, but I'm saying these are the government guidelines that everyone is following.
Well, I understand that we don't work for the government in here, we work for Co-op.
Yeah, but
And
Co-op is not above the
Co-op.
government, and they don't supersede
not-
the Equalities Act 2010.
It's not a conversation about politics.
No, but it is though.
It's not a conversation about politics. What do you say to that, Yvonne?
But it is a conversation about politics.
It's weird.
Because you've got your politicians that are putting these rules down. Do you know what I mean? You've obviously got Labour are going against some rules and things like that. So it is a political issue. I know that Co-op don't want it to be a political issue, and all they want to do is follow orders.
Makes
But
it
all that's
confusing,
good.
doesn't it?
Yeah, but again, it's another way of causing division. It's another way of causing strife.
The hypocrisy here, or shall I say the contradictory behaviour, because this was from a body that's, I don't know whether it's a governmental body, but it's certainly quite high up. I'm not sure who the lady is because within the clip it didn't say the name. But this was the mantra in regards to masks not so long ago, before all this crap come in.
It's effective potentially if you are a patient to prevent the virus being coughed out. But for most people, actually, they tend to get a mask, and it's a behavioural issue as well. They put it on, they take it off, they'll perhaps put it down somewhere where they'll get the virus and put it, put it back on again. And therefore, in some ways, they may actually risk catching the disease rather than preventing it. So routinely, we don't recommend them.
Yeah, but government have bought shitloads of masks, haven't they? Let's face it. So they've got to get the money back somehow. And not on your boxes of masks, it says not fit for medical purpose.
They're not effective. So
It says on the box, not fit for medical purpose. That's why they couldn't use them within the NHS.
And that's the annoying thing, that anyone with a common sense brain is going to break that down and go, this has got anomalies written all over it. So on top of the anxiety of everything, the hypocrisy and the double standard is creating more anxiety, and you're still telling me that I can't do this. But anyway, I'm going to stop ranting, Yvonne, because Mark's just popped in. So I'm going to get Mark in as quickly as possible, and then we can jump back on the stream. Is that all right, Yvonne?
That's perfect.
I love you. 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 I love you.
Even the pissing haters.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.